Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle. That's Mike, here to recap 8-7's action and look ahead to August 8th, Tuesday, August 8th, 15-game slate. Mike, your mic is on mute again.
What's up, guys? Just want to make sure you didn't hear my heavy breathing during our awesome intro song. Yeah, so 7-game slate. Definitely a stacking slate, as we found out. And 15 games tomorrow, or today, like a normal Tuesday. So definitely going to be a completely different strategy tomorrow or today than there was yesterday. But we'll get all into that. How'd you fare today, man?
I didn't cash today. So I hate paying up for pitching for this reason, and I paid up for Max, and of course, as we can see, wasn't the top. He was number 4 in terms of value on today, and in fact, number 4 in terms of points overall.
Yeah.
So
He didn't kill you.
He didn't kill me, but limited the bets. And what killed me the most was my Pirate stack. Fuck the Pirates. Jordan Zimmerman decided to have a good game.
Another one, yeah. I don't know what's going on there, but maybe it's a trend to consider. Dylan Bundy, man, second start in a row for him. He is the ace of the day. Went out, had 10 strikeouts in Los Angeles, which is tough to do. So
yeah, Angels don't strike out a ton.
Yeah, so maybe we're seeing a resurgence. This was also his second start in a row on extra rest, so maybe that's something to look into. But he is he's not a terrible guy. He's just been having a really rough year, kind of like a lot of these Orioles pitchers, you know.
And of course, Trevor Williams coming in at number 2. Talked about him. Of course, last night he balled out. You were on Carlos Martinez. I was not. However, I did get the 2 jacks that were hit off of him with Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas, so I'm not mad.
Yeah, that's the 2 guys that I was thinking about playing too. So I didn't play any Carlos Martinez. I just couldn't stomach it. I probably should have. Obviously, if you paid down to him over Max, you could have done anything with your lineup, I think. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely a guy that can go out. The Royals really haven't been hitting consistently well recently. So.
Yeah, and they got another tough opponent tomorrow. Obviously, Max Scherzer, number 4, had a good game. By no means was it a bad game, but tough to pay off that price tag. And then Jake Arrieta, he did okay. We talked about the lack of strikeouts, and sure enough, that was the case today.
Yeah, just 7-game slate. We got to find 5 guys here, so Arrieta makes the list. But yeah, I don't think Scherzer killed people because these stacks here, I mean, were pretty cheap, except for Votto, I guess. But we talked about our Reds being sneaky on the lock show. Sure enough.
There you go. Yeah, Chacin, bad on the road. Talked about the Reds being worst over the worst, one of the worst teams in WOBA over the last 7 days. But in a good spot against Chacin, especially the lefties. What I say about Zach Cozart as well. I'm telling you, that offense plays differently with him in the lineup. He's like a kickstart for them.
Spark plug, yeah.
So there you go, spark plug. And sure enough, and then Patrick Kivlahan, obviously that grand slam is the reason why his points look like this. But yeah, man, sure enough.
If you stack that game with Padres too, I mean,
yeah, Jose Perella.
That was kind of a way to go. Cozart was just too cheap with shortstop being very scarce as well. I think he definitely stood out as the play. I had him everywhere. Didn't get me to the cash line, however, unfortunately. But, you know, I was right on a few plays. I had Votto and Cozart in 2 of my 3 lineups. I just didn't fare well because I paired Suter with Scherzer, and he just didn't get enough today.
Yeah, what fucked me, besides the Pirates, was I had an Orioles stack all day, and Manny Machado was the centerpiece of that stack because of how he's been hitting. And I was
Hmm.
like, you know what? Chris Bryant versus a lefty. Matt Moore's worse. I'm gonna play Chris Bryant. And Chris Bryant had a triple. That's cool. Manny Machado had a grand slam though, so
That's a little cooler.
yeah, I
What did I
would.
say last night, man?
Yep.
12 home runs. It's going down.
I think he's got 2 now
He's
in
got 2. Yep.
month of August.
So he's got 10 more to go. Um, yeah, in the one lineup, I didn't have Votto. I had Chris Davis, and that was the lineup I had the Orioles stack, and that was the most promising lineup. I should have just stuck with the 2-man of Scope and Machado.
Yes, sir. So all right, we got 15 games tomorrow. Starting it off with Detroit and Pittsburgh. Um, maybe a day early on Pittsburgh. They hit lefties better than righties. Um, Matt Boyd has not been good even in his last couple starts. He's still got a 57% fly ball rate with a 5.1 xFIP, so not great. He's getting hit 95 miles an hour plus 30% of the time. I don't know. Maybe I was a day early on Pittsburgh. They're still cheap-ish. McCutcheon obviously destroys lefties, so I I think Boyd is attackable, but they're not my favorite stack on a 15-game slate.
Hmm. I think Harrison, McCutcheon, the 2 righties, I think make for a good 2-man stack against Boyd. He's been playing okay on this road trip. And Chad Kuhl, I mean, he is trending in the right direction. So I don't know that I want to attack him, but Detroit hits the ball hard enough that I don't really want to play him either. In his last 10 games, he's got an ERA of 3.7, which is pretty good for him. With a K rate that's also going up above 20 now. So maybe the season goes along. He's playing pretty well. He's coming off his best game too. So I don't really want to play Cool or stack against him.
I can't stack Detroit on the road versus righties. They've proven time and time again to be too bad there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We got Miami and Washington. Chris O'Grady getting hurt really kind of fucked with my Washington stack that I put in last minute as well. Brian Zimmerman
Hmm.
obviously played him against the lefty. And then for those of you
Yeah.
that played Bryce Harper, I didn't play him because he was playing a lefty. But sure enough, Chris
Yeah,
O'Grady gets
Rendon was
hurt.
pretty high owned because he was facing a lefty.
Yep. But I think I believe these 2 pitchers actually just played each other in Miami, and Miami got to AJ Cole. I think they scored 7 runs against him. I have
Yeah,
zero
hit a
issue.
couple of home runs.
I have zero issue going right back here. Giancarlo Stanton has 4 home runs in 4 days. Clearly the best power hitter in the league. Um, if he was in the AL, he'd be the AL MVP.
Probably.
Um,
Yeah, I mean AJ Cole. I don't want. I mean he's just the next man up type thing. Um, I know Gio was activated from the paternity list to get him back in rotation. This is the spot that Strasburg would be in, but they just don't have any pitching depth, man. And again, like you said, he got blown up by Miami in his last start. So I agree. I'm definitely on Miami stack. Vance Worley, I don't really expect a repeat of that game, but
nah, me neither. I think Washington stack is. I think this is a game stack potential right here.
yeah, I'm with it for sure.
We got New York Yankees with the no longer MLB home run leader Aaron Judge, clearly showing his true self. Cody Bellinger over Aaron Judge. Um,
Even though he hit a home run in his last game.
oh, he had 1 home run. Giancarlo Stanton has 4 in his last 4 games. Aaron Judge is
He
aggressive.
also gets paid how much money?
Oh, so that we only hit home runs based on what we get paid now?
Yeah, man, you got to do your job.
I'm pretty sure Judge is going to get sent back to AAA at this point. Just not a good him and Sanchez. The Yankees franchise is ruined. Sanchez can't catch a pitch. Judge can't hit home runs anymore. Yeah.
I only have two rules of the Yankees front office at this point. Do not send Clint Frazier down when Aaron Hicks comes back, and do not limit Luis Severino's innings. If either of those two things happen, I'll be very upset.
Oh, well, that's okay. You can be a Giants fan.
It's true. That would be pretty bad.
But yeah, Yankees and Blue Jays. Blue Jays are one of the hottest teams in the league right now, and I like attacking CC with some right-handed bats here in Toronto. They're actually still kind of cheap. Batista, Pierce, Donaldson, all are very attainable prices tomorrow. So I do like a Toronto stack.
I agree. Definitely not going to play the lefties, like I said, but Sabathia's already been blown up by Toronto twice this season. He did pitch a gem in Toronto, so he has 3 starts on the record. So they've seen him. I mean, a lot of these players have seen him 30-plus at-bats. So there's some good numbers in there. So I agree. I like a Toronto stack with both these lefties on the mound. And we know what the Yankees do away versus lefties. I don't find myself going back there. Really, there's nobody that's hot, really, except for, I guess, Headley and Didi, but both those guys are lefties. So
Yankees' worst split is away versus lefties as well. 289 WOBA, only a 121 ISO.
Yeah, I synced it, man. I've been there.
Yeah. So, not saying to play Hap.
Yeah, Hap's been playing well, but he also played the White Sox last time out. I'm pretty sure.
Marco Estrada looked good in his recent numbers, too, because he played the White Sox. Doug Fister also will look good in his recent start. And then we got Boston and Tampa. Chris Sale, one of the 2 elite ace options on the slate tomorrow. And Austin Pruitt, the second elite ace option on the slate.
1A and 1B.
JK on the Austin Pruitt for those of you guys.
He's pitched all right, though. He hasn't been terrible.
Yeah, I'm just throwing mad jokes right now. Like, I don't really think Aaron Judge is going to get down to AAA. So you guys are listening to this show for the first time and think I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
It's just because Mike's a Yankee homer, so I got to give him shit.
Yeah, I watch the Yankees from time to time. That's for sure.
Chris
speaking
Sale,
of that, Pruitt pitched well against the Yankees in his first major league start. I think I don't want to really attack him or pitch him. I don't think. Chris Sale or Corey Kluber tomorrow, man. I think that's a big question mark.
No, it's not. It's Corey Kluber.
Yeah, I totally agree. Fuck Chris Sale.
There's that Yankee homerism. But no, in all honesty,
a little bit.
Chris Sale has pitched really well versus Tampa in terms of strikeouts. He's got 24 strikeouts in 14 innings, only 10 hits allowed. But in those 10 hits, 6 earned runs. I will say that 4 of those runs came on 1 hit off of Logan Morrison, a grand slam earlier in the year. So, it's kind of skewed. But I think that Corey Kluber has the better matchup, and his strikeout numbers are better.
100%. He is a top-notch pitcher. I think he's gonna lap Sale in the Cy Young voting these last 2 months. I'm pretty sure of it. But like you said, 12 Ks at each start versus Tampa, and all 3 starts, I should say. He gave up 2 home runs in each of his last 2 and got outdueled by Jake Faria in that last game, if you recall. Peter Borges and Wilson Ramos hit homers. He did his little hissy fit thing, lost the game. He's coming off his worst outing of the season against Cleveland. I don't know. I feel like if I'm paying up, it's got to be Kluber. He's just dominant, man.
I agree, man. Looking at recent performance, Chris Sale has a 38% K rate over the last 30 days with a 13.6% swinging strike rate and an xFIP of 2.69. So clearly the numbers back him up. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be played tomorrow, except for the fact that Corey Kluber's on the slate, and that's where I am going.
Yeah, there's a number of nice pay-up options tomorrow.
Agree. There are also a couple mid-range options. Speaking of Corey Kluber, the guy facing him, Herman Marquez. This guy has been pitching fantastic as well, and he is cheap. He is 7,100 on DK and 72 on FanDuel. I have him in my FanDuel lineup currently, just because Kluber doesn't allow me to get any other bats, where on DK I can kind of mitigate that with a cheaper SP2. But Herman Marquez, 28% K rate, 12.5% swinging strike rate, and an xFIP of under 3 at 2.98. Also does a fantastic job of limiting fly balls over the last 30 days. That has climbed a little bit in the last couple starts, obviously up to 48. But nonetheless, I still like him. The Indians team, they don't strike out a ton, so there is concern with that. Upside is limited, but Indians are a bottom 5 team in WOBA over the last week.
Been struggling a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit more on German Marquez, man. He throws his fastball 65% of the time, and he leads the league in throwing the fastball in the strike zone. 64% of his fastballs are in the strike zone, which really sets up his breaking pitch because, he gets ahead and counts. And he actually, given 250 curveballs thrown this season, he is second to Corey Kluber in starting pitchers in strikeout rate of 51% on that pitch. So he's got an out pitch. If he can get ahead in the count with his fastball, he's got an out pitch. So I see why there's some legs behind the numbers. Hasn't been just a mirage for him. So Cleveland, obviously the matchup on a 15-game slate, it's hard for me to truly advocate, pitching him, especially with Corey Kluber as his opponent. I don't see this as a winnable game 9 times out of 10
I'm with
for
you
him.
on that.
So I don't know that I like this. I like the potential. This just isn't a good spot for me on a slate this big.
I just like him for his price. 7,200 on FanDuel. Again, he's a viable SP2 option on DraftKings at 71, but on FanDuel, his price 7,200. I think there's enough upside there, and it allows me to get all the bats I want tomorrow, at least in my preliminary build. So, with Kluber, we talked about Sale's recent stats. Kluber is even better. He has a 41% strikeout rate in his last 30 days, and a swinging strike rate of 18.5%. That is absolutely fucking nuts. Almost 1/5 of the pitches he throws are swing and misses.
Get this, since he came off the DL in mid-June, he has a 40% K rate. 40% of the batters he faced strike out.
Yeah. His
he
is 1.76.
Yeah, that's like a closer number there. He actually made history. 4th starting pitcher in history that has 8+ Ks in 12 consecutive major league starts. Only other 3 pitchers to do it: Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, and Nolan Ryan. So extend those 30 days, man. He's having an incredible year. I expect it continues. Colorado away from Coors is not very good.
Yeah, they're bad.
And he's got a career high in usage with his curveball that's really kind of giving him these strikeout numbers.
Facts. We got San Diego and Cincy. I think another stackable Cincy game here. Luis Perdomo not only has been bad of late, but he's bad on the road and awful versus lefties. On the season, an xFIP of over 5 versus left-handed bats this year. We know there's some power lefties on Cincinnati, but don't be worried. He can still be attacked with righties. This whole team's in play, in my opinion. Perdomo's stackable. Sal Romano did not have a DFS-worthy start his last time out, but in fact, he's actually pitched decent. He may be getting a little lucky. His xFIP shows that he probably should have worse numbers than he does, but he's pitching decent, and it's hard to stack against him right now, especially on a 15-game slate with the Padres. I view that whole situation as a fade.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I kind of am feeling more of a game fade than you are. I don't know. I like the usual suspects on Cincinnati, but I think you're paying for Votto, and I think Cozart's price, unless it stays where it's at, could be in play. But yeah, I agree with you on Pizza Boy, man. I'm not really going to attack him, so it's kind of a fade here for me.
There you go. We got Texas and New York. Texas going to an NL Park. We got Chris not flexing on them hoes, and Andrew Kashner. He's not going to help you cash tomorrow. So, where are you looking here?
Yeah, Kashner has got some regression coming to him, man. I know that he has 5 straight quality starts, but all the predictive measures would say that shouldn't be happening. Definitely not a DFS play. He walks just as many people as he strikes out. And you think I'm exaggerating? I'm absolutely not. He does. On the course of the season, not any small sample. And then Flexen hasn't made it past the third inning yet. This will be his third try to do so. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so real quick, to back up what Mike was saying, let me get Andrew Cashman's numbers here. Hold on, I got to find him.
He has a strikeout to walk percentage of 1.2, I think.
Why the fuck is Andrew Cashner 7,900 on DK? Get the fuck out of here.
Told you, 5 straight quality starts.
He's more expensive than Godley and
Don't do it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Do not play Andrew Cashner. But again, I don't know that I want to stack against them. The Mets have just been weird all season. I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah, it's a complete game fade for me. I hate playing Texas on the road, and it's in New York. So, yeah, going to be a game fade there. Philly and Atlanta. All right, so hear me out here. Zach Eflin is my SP2 option as of right now tomorrow because of Corey Kluber. The price savings that you get, he's absolutely not viable on FanDuel. Do not play this guy on FanDuel. He's 6K. Absolutely not. Punt a couple bats to get to Corey Kluber or even Marquez on FanDuel. Don't play Zach Eflin for 6K. But on DraftKings, he's 4K tomorrow. And he's bad. There's no doubt about that. If he gets me 10 points as an SP2 at 4K and I can get the bats that I want, I'm not complaining. He already has one start this year versus Atlanta, and he went 7 innings and struck out 3, but it got 17 DraftKings points. If he gets me 15 at 4K, I'm fucking ecstatic. Like, I'm running around my house happy, right?
Yeah.
So, a huge GPP play. A lot of risk involved. He has been not great, but okay in AAA. He's 0-4, but wins losses don't mean shit. Neither does ERA with a 4.06 ERA, but he's got 40 strikeouts and 45 innings. So I'll take that. I'll take it for 4K.
Mm-hmm. He's stretched out as a starter too, so this isn't a guy coming out of the bullpen that you might have to be a bullpen game. He's getting called up. He's taking Jake Thompson's spot because he did not fill in for Hellickson like they were hoping. I still think it's Mark Leiter's spot, but for some reason, after they dealt some of their bullpen arms, Benoit and Nishek, they decided to put him out there. I don't know why. He went out and dominated in Coors in long relief.
Sure.
I still think he should be starting here. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Who do you think is the Phillies' worst pitcher? Is it Blake Lively or Zach Efron?
You know what? I don't hate Zach Eflin, actually. I really don't. Like, when he first came up, I remember his very first start, if I'm not mistaken, was against the Giants. And, I mean, that's not saying much. It was in the Giants' playoff years, for what it's worth, but he actually pitched well against them. I don't think he's bad. He's not a K pitcher, but he does generally do a good job of limiting fly balls, and if he can do that and not just get absolutely smacked around like he was, maybe this demotion to AAA was good for him. Maybe him knowing that the spot is up for grabs. I don't know.
I think you've thought way too long and hard about coercing all of our viewers to play Zach Eflin. Eflin, yeah, I think that's it.
It's Efron, but shows how much you love fucking Disney.
Either way, he's 4K. That's it, man. That's all you got to say. Julio.
After 3 straight negative games, don't you have to be priced at the minimum? Yeah, he's not good. He hasn't been.
He hasn't pitched in the majors in a long time, man. He got hurt for he was on an extended DL, and then he's made 4 starts in AAA and hasn't pitched great. But again, they need somebody just to get to go up. And Atlanta hasn't been playing well. I generally don't pitch people in this ballpark, but Phillies got to Julio in their last time they faced him. Aaron Altair hit 2 home runs off him. Phillies have had a terrible road trip.
Yeah, that's what say.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so I don't know that I want to stack Phillies, but I'm definitely looking at it for Julio, who's given up a ton of home runs this season.
I'm not saying Phillies.
He definitely, and he did get beat up by them in his last time.
Now here is the reason I'm playing fucking Zach Eflin tomorrow. The Houston Astros on the road versus Derek fucking Holland in this park. This is a just fucking bandbox. Hitters love this place. Derek Holland loves giving up home runs here. In his last 14 days, he has an xFIP of 7.4. He's given up 2 home runs per 9 on the season. He gets destroyed by right-handed bats, and the kicker here, George Springer might be back tomorrow. Lit.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard the rumors.
And he's cheap-ish for what his upside is, because he's been out of the league, or obviously injured for a little while. So he's 4.8 on DraftKings, and I believe he's only 4.4 on FanDuel. No, maybe even cheaper than that. I don't know, but yeah, cheap on both sites. Cheap for what he can do. So I love me some Astros tomorrow, and that is the reason I'm paying down at SP2.
Yeah, this guy's give up a ton of home runs. We don't need to highlight it anymore. 16 on the season now. I agree. Definitely, probably the number one stack tomorrow is Houston in this ballpark, but it's pretty obvious. It sticks out, you know.
What are your thoughts on this guy? Yeah, it's a stream option, right? We're talking about stream options against the White Sox. Keuchel's been fucking terrible since he came back from the DL. I don't know if he's not right, but he's priced down. He's not going to get any ownership tomorrow. He's only 8.8 on FanDuel, Mike. 8.8 on FanDuel.
Yeah, definitely play him on FanDuel then. That's ridiculous. I think it's definitely a better stream option than most. And then, I mean, we talk about people that have been getting our top 5 versus the White Sox, man, and nobody's on the same level as Dallas Keuchel is. I mean, over the last 7 days, they're bottom 5 in hard contact, bottom 2 in ISO, top 5 in K percentage, top 2 in ground ball rate, which plays right into Keuchel. You know, people are gonna be scared off him as well because he burned people in both starts since returning.
Yep.
So it is somewhat concerning. I mean, that DL stint was 2 months, and then he comes back and struggles versus Tampa Bay and Detroit. So there is concern, you know.
I agree. We got Milwaukee, Minnesota, Adalberto Mejia, and Matt Garza. Minnesota sucks right now.
I like Matt Garza, man.
Dead last in WOBA in the last 7 days. I don't know that I pitched Matt Garza tomorrow, but he's pitched okay of late. Maybe getting a little lucky as well. xFIP is 5.6 over the last 3 starts, but an average against only 200. WOBA against only 222. But Minnesota's that bad right now that I think it could be a potential play. And then Mejia, I don't see enough upside here versus the Brewers to mitigate the potential risk.
Yeah. I hear you. I don't think I'm on Mejia. I'm thinking about Garza. I mean, 6 straight starts of 2 runs or less. But in that stretch, his high in DraftKings total is 22 points. I'll be happy if you get 22 out of him. But I mean, if you're saying like he had a start against Philly where he went 5 innings, gave up 1 run, and only scored 7 DraftKings points. So yeah, he's pitched well lately. I think this is a nice stream spot, but 7.3. I think there's some other options. I don't know. I took a second look at him at least.
That's fair.
7.2.
Now here's a guy I'm looking at big time. Michael Waka Flocka throwing straight flames, and against Kansas City, who does not strike out a ton. So there's your limited upside. But this dude does not give up fly balls. He's got a 12% fly ball rate in the last 14 days. That's 3 starts, with a 25% K rate and an xFIP of 2.8. His last 30 starts are fantastic as well. Last 30 days. He's got a swinging strike rate of 11%, and he has the 5th highest fastball score on the entire slate over the last 30 days. Love that. A guy that can command his fastball. So I think there's definite upside here. Now, it is capped with the lack of Royal strikeouts, but if he can go deep, if he can obviously get a couple strikeouts, go 7, maybe 8 innings against the Royals, who have not been good, and they're not nearly as good at home, I think it's a good play.
I think 8,600 is a nice price for him. It comes in at fifth highest on DraftKings, just below the four guys that are 10K and above. I agree with the matchup. I think it's a plus matchup for his style of pitching. He just has to continue to bring it. In his last 6 starts, an ERA under 2, strikeouts per 9, almost 10. So I'm with you, man. I think not a lot of people are going to look at Waka either, so I like the call.
And then Jason Vargas, Cardinals all of a sudden remembered how to hit the last 2 games. I don't think I stacked them again tomorrow. I'm just not a believer in them being this hot, but definitely not going to play Vargas.
Yeah, Vargas has been pretty bad, to say the least. He's got 1 quality start since the start of June, so
I'm with you, man. Los Angeles and Arizona. We got Kenta Maeda, another one of those guys fighting for that 5th spot in the rotation. Obviously, when Kershaw comes back, him and Ryu are kind of those 2 guys playing for it right now. And then Zach, the God Zeus. This dude has been absolutely fantastic his last couple starts as well. And I know
surprising.
This dude's come out of nowhere, man.
Mm-hmm. Robbie Ray too.
Robbie Ray's regressed a little bit, but
still come out of nowhere this season. I mean,
that's facts. But Godly, so check this out. He has a higher swinging strike percentage than Chris Sale in the last month.
Believe it.
14%. His xFIP 2.75. Love it. 25% hard contact, 25% fly balls, right? Limiting both those. A strikeout rate of 30%. Not as high as Sales, but the swing and strike rate is higher, which means there is upside to even increase that strikeout rate. I love Zach Godley as a contrarian play tomorrow. I don't think he's going to get ownership because he's playing the Dodgers and it's in Arizona. He's actually been better at home than he's been on the road for some crazy reason. But all Goliaths can get stopped, and I'll take good pitching over good hitting any day. And I think Godley could potentially throw a wrench in that Dodgers hot streak.
He hasn't given up a run in his last 2 starts on the road at St. Louis and at Chicago, and then he comes in here and they drop his price down to 7,600 on DraftKings. I mean, obviously it's a matchup situation, and you're right, no one's going to play Godley, but if you look at the people around him, he is obviously underpriced. So if you take out the opponent and you just look at what the pitcher has been doing relative to price, it seems like it'd be an obvious play. It's just the Dodgers, man, coming into this ballpark that's
scary.
That's scary, but again, he just shut out the Cubs, so they've been hot as well. Now, Maeda, I think, is definitely attackable in this ballpark. Arizona's, it seems like, been praying to come home, so they are, and I think against this righty, I expect them to put up some numbers tomorrow.
I agree. I think there'll be a lower owned stack too. I don't think people are going to jump on Arizona. We got Seattle and Oakland. Yonder Alonso. I don't even know if he left Oakland. If I was him, I would have just stayed in Oakland and waited for Seattle to come here when he got traded. But he gets a homecoming. Got Kendall Graveman, who got roughed up in his first start back facing the Giants. And then Ariel Miranda taking his fly ball talents on the road to Oakland, where at home they are a different beast and they can hit lefties at home. So there's no way I'm playing Miranda. He does have strikeout potential, absolutely, but he can get blown up super quick. I could see a Seattle stack here. I kind of like Alonso. I like Cano. I like Seager. August is a hot month for Seattle. They've been playing well since the All-Star break, so I can see it.
I could see it too, but if I'm playing 3 lineups, I don't think I'm going to have much Seattle. It's feeling like a game fade, minus maybe some home run one-offs off Oakland against Miranda, who puts the ball in the air. I think Chapman's been hitting a lot of home runs recently. He's been heating up. One of their top prospects that they're giving run to. Obviously, Crush is in that conversation. We talk home run one-offs, no matter who he's playing. So that's kind of really all I'm thinking about in this game.
Yeah, I feel that. And then We have the last two games on the slate: Chicago and San Francisco, and Baltimore and LA Angels of Anaheim. Jose Quintana.
So,
I'm telling you, man. Jeremy pointed this out to me last week and got me off Quintana. Props to him. But he's been kind of smoke and mirrors, man. His numbers are not matching up with what he's been doing. So he's kind of high priced. He's got a 34% K rate with only a 10% swing and strike rate. Something's got to give there. I think that's coming down. And he's got a hard contact rate of 44% with a fly ball rate of 40% in the last month. I don't see the dominance continuing. Now the Giants are a different story. Home versus lefties is their worst split. Not that they have a good split, but it's their worst one. I don't think he's a stream option tomorrow. I don't.
Quintana, not on this slate, I don't think, because of the other guys around him. I mean, you're right. Besides that first start in Baltimore, it's been a slow decline. He's not had a great year overall. San Francisco's got a bunch of young guys in their lineup now, trying to prove themselves. Jarrett Parker is, where was he last month? Why has he not been playing every day?
Because he was injured.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah, he was on the
now
DL
he's not.
Yeah, he was
Well,
on
it's
the
good
DL
for
forever.
That's just bad luck, I guess, huh?
Yeah, no, but remember early in the year when I was telling you guys Jarrett Parker for 2K home run option?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd much rather play Kluber or Keuchel. Pretty obvious to me.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. And then Ty Block, not gonna play him. He has been better at home, but there's no strikeout upside for me here. And then we got Jeremy Hellickson and Parker Bridwell. I think Parker Bridwell can be stacked against another guy that his advanced metrics don't line up with what he's been doing, and Baltimore's hot. Fuck you, Theo, for telling me not to play Baltimore today.
Minus that grand slam, they really didn't do much. I watched most of that game, but
yeah, but I had Manny Machado.
Yeah, no, I did too. I had him in scope.
So.
And the thing was, Adam Jones was at bat, and he got hit to load the bases with 2 outs to bring up Machado, who hit a first pitch grand slam.
I saw that. I was hoping
that was
JC
pretty bad.
Get out of that inning, but whatever. What do you think about
Well, this could be a revenge game. He came up through the minor league system, and they gave him away for nothing. Literally nothing.
Who's this?
Parker Bridwell.
Oh.
He got traded to the Angels a couple months ago from the Orioles for literally nothing. Cash. Oh. So perhaps a revenge game. I don't know. With how hot the Orioles have been, that I want to trust that narrative solely.
I actually have an Orioles stack. I have an Orioles stack in my main lineup right now, 15 games, not even just late slate.
And then Jeremy Hellickson's last start was the first time since September 17th of last year, which is 23 starts, where he went 7 innings and didn't give up a run. So he took his ERA from 4.7 to 4.4.
Jesus. I don't like Hellickson.
Can you say fluke?
Yeah, I don't like Hellickson tomorrow, man. I don't like it. None of his advanced metrics match it up. There's no K upside here. I don't expect another 10K performance. And the Angels are still hitting the ball well. Mike Trout is on another level right now. He's trying to become the next Bryce Harper. There's no way I play either of these two pitchers.
He's trying to become. Did you know? I saw a stat on Twitter today that both Bryce Harper and Mike Trout hit their 150th career home run at the exact same age to the day.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 24 years and 150 days or something like that.
Jesus, isn't Bryce younger than Trout too?
Yeah, he is by like a year.
Who finishes with more home runs in their career?
I don't know.
Granted,
I have no idea. It's really just. Well, Trout's kind of locked into that ballpark. It's going to depend to see what Harper decides to do.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he doesn't go to New York, but
he's got one more year in Washington to decide.
I'm telling you, man, he's going to get half a franchise.
They're just going to give him half.
That's what I'm serious, dude. They're not even going to offer him money. They're just going to be like, here's half of ownership.
You can manage on Tuesdays.
Like, Harper is going to be... God, dude. Baseball contracts are going to be reaching 100... Not... What is it? No. Yeah. What are they at right now? 500 million?
A lot. I think the largest contract right now
Was it 400?
is still Stanton.
What was his?
It's 320 or something like that. 280. I think he's like a little over 30 million a year.
Bryce is probably going to be the first to get a $500 million contract.
It'll be close. I agree.
God,
Definitely think it will be.
The day that we have $1 billion contract, Mike.
I mean, the NBA's coming close, man. They actually surpassed baseball with the highest annual salary per player this offseason.
It's ridiculous, man. Crazy. I don't know. I mean,
you can make the argument that NBA players have more a direct correlation to income or to profits of their franchise than baseball players do.
I agree with that. I just think the whole situation is crazy. I mean, I get it.
Sports.
Well, I mean, I don't hate on it at all. I mean, they set the market and the market demands that money for them. Fuck it, dude. You're worth that money. No hate intended there. But
I mean, bottom line, they wouldn't be paying these people money if they were losing money. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing with the Marlins, like, oh, this guy needs to sell off. He's losing so much money. Such bullshit. The dude bought the franchise for like $80 million.
And here's the other thing: is people have to remember these owners of the franchise. This is not their main business. All of these guys are rich because of something else they do.
Or were most of them. Some of them it has become their job. You know.
Yeah, but these guys all have side businesses. No millionaire just has one job.
No. Like when they bought the business, obviously they had to have had income of large proportions.
Yeah, I mean it's just these guys. This is the contracts are crazy, but the market demands it, and the players know it, and by all means,
no one's complaining, man. People say ooh and ah when it happens, but then they forget about it real quick.
Oh yeah, no one. People say, "Oh, I'm not going to watch sports if this guy gets this much money." Blah blah blah, and then they go out and they just add to the profits. Like, I know this is a controversial topic, but it's right in line now. The protests on the NFL with Kaepernick. I don't think there may be a couple protests, but it's not going to last, man. NFL is the biggest sport in this country by far, and they're just going to continue to grow in revenue. If anything, the only thing that's going to hurt the NFL is the CTE.
It's already hurt the NFL.
Yeah, but I'm saying
they did their own. They did themselves a disservice by trying to sweep it under the rug. So they're going to have to come up with some innovative things, or I think they're going to be in trouble with that.
I mean, what can they really do? The players know the risk when they get into it. That's your own choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree.
If anything, you may see people start to go. You may see some of these football athletes go towards basketball and baseball, which, quite honestly,
already seeing it.
If you're a top athlete and you have that choice, go play fucking baseball. You have guaranteed money, and shit, dude, you can get paid for not doing shit. Like, if you don't even have to play every day, and you get guaranteed money.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like as technology advances, there's going to have to be some sort of innovative things that comes with the equipment that football players wear that shows us black and white when a hit is delivered, whether that hit is detrimental. You know what I mean? Where it's not just like, oh, let me take you to the sideline and see if you're okay. You know, it's going to be like something sensor goes off, you're out. You know.
I mean, this is the medical when you're talking. I'm not familiar with it. I'm just like...
Yeah, well, we could debate that later, I guess.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. But like the point I was making is I really think that the CTE thing will hurt the NFL more than this Kaepernick situation. And,
definitely.
There's a lot of people that disagree with it and a lot of people that agree with it. And I think the biggest problem with Kaepernick is... And going to the business side of it, as an NFL owner, if you're paying Kaepernick to come in as a backup quarterback, you don't want the controversy or the media attention on him. It's the same reason why Tim Tebow doesn't have a job. Right?
Yeah.
Your quarterback goes out and throws a 500-yard game, and the cameras just go straight to Kaepernick because they know it creates controversy. And that's what the media thrives on, man. They want the division because it creates views.
90% of ownership is going to look at that and be like, I don't want you, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this shit.
Unless he can drastically increase a team's performance, which I don't think he can. Kaepernick is not that good. He's better than half the backups in the league, no doubt about it. I don't think there's any denying that, and he's probably better than a couple starting quarterbacks. But if you're coming in, let's say you're the Browns, right, or the Texans, or the Texans are a bad example. They actually have a playoff shot because of that division. But the Jets, right, a team that's not going to do shit. You're bringing Kaepernick to maybe win 3 or 4 more games, but you bring in all that negative publicity. It's just not a good business decision.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Colin Kaepernick in 5 years like he didn't exist, man.
Well, we won't be talking about him. But
if we were.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I don't even think Cap wants to play football anymore, man. The dude, he does amazing community service, man. This dude is all over the world, like, doing shit for the community, and I respect the hell out of it. He's got the Kaepernick Foundation, I think it's called. But I don't think he has any desire to play football, man. I think people want him to play football more than he does.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, dude definitely is staying in shape because he and wants to go out and perform and show what he can do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think his head's fully in it, to be honest with you.
That's for damn sure.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? If your head's, I don't think his head is fully in the game. Maybe I shouldn't say he doesn't want to play football, but I don't think he is fully committed.
He's not doing himself any favors, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll have a ton of obviously NFL news coming up. That's kind of there you go, a little preview talk of Kyle and Mike's thoughts on NFL before the season starts.
Colin Kaepernick and CTE. Yeah. Someone needs to give him some fucking CTE.
Mike's gonna have Mike's gonna be the new Stephon, except not as good looking, but maybe. Depends who you ask.
It's debatable.
Depends who you ask.
No, I got you guys covered, man. Definitely.
Yeah. So. But yeah, that is where we are at, guys. The write-ups are gaining more and more traction. They're fire now. Theo's even doing a write-up. Jared's got his super analytical write-up that just makes mine look retarded. So shout out to Jeremy. This dude is the GOAT. But if you want all the access, join down below. That free 7-day trial literally doesn't hurt you.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
About NFL, just real quick. Did you know that on average, a player that is listed on the injury report, whether probable, questionable, or doubtful, on average scores 10% less fantasy points?
Interesting.
So, just for what it's worth.
Yeah, and by the way, Vegas is going to be. I know we used Vegas a little bit in baseball, and it's hit or miss. Vegas is definitely a good resource, but in NFL, this shit is going to be
in Vegas.
Yeah, this shit is going to be off the charts. So we got you guys covered. If you're looking how to read Vegas and apply it to your DFS strategy, it is a lot more than just over-unders and money lines. I promise you there's a whole nother level to Vegas than just looking at who the favorite is. There's a reason money lines exist. So we got you guys covered.
For example, I mean, talk about football and game theory, the percentage of touchdowns scored when your team is behind drops drastically. So if a team is, projected by Vegas to be losing, running backs aren't going to be scoring as many touchdowns.
Oh yeah, because it's all passes.
Just as an example, that's just as an example as what Vegas can do as far as game script, how it shapes the people that are in your player pool. Yeah. Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, so a lot of good shit coming, guys. Like I said, if you guys want all that help, we got you guys covered with Vegas. It's going to be huge. Partnered with all the stats. Obviously, we got projections already done. We'll have an optimizer. All that shit's covered. So hit us up.
Telling you,
Join
you guys
now.
want to chat like season long or anything, man, hit me up on Twitter or in the River group. Down to chat. I'm looking at the stuff all day.
Yes, sir. So appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Have a wonderful and profitable Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow with that lock show. Make sure to check out River and check out the posts for the pitching preview, and then we'll have obviously our stacks tomorrow. So make it a profitable one, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.